Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel. But to the rest of the world, she is the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
Save a life. Don't drive buzzed. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I was in chronic pain, and my family struggling to make ends meet, food and gas prices going up, even keeping my job was iffy. Then I learned about a new miracle drug made in Washington, D.C., Spenditol. Spenditol is Washington's answer to all the painful problems Americans face. How to borrow $800 billion for a stimulus that didn't create jobs or fix the economy? Spenditol.
Spenditol is not for everyone. Side effects may include a mountain of government debt piled on our kids, a sudden loss of freedoms, higher prices for everything, leaving our kids a lesser America than we had. Ask your doctor or congressman if your conscience is strong enough for Spenditol.
And it's so popular in Washington, we have to import trillions more of it from China. Spenditol makes you feel better now and pushes off the really bad stuff till later, for them to deal with.
Call the White House and Congress. Tell them, stop spending it all.
I always loved watching the kids play basketball. I still do, even though things have changed. It's funny, they can't find jobs to get their careers started. And I can't afford to retire. And now we're all living together again. I supported President Obama because he spoke so beautifully. He promised change, but things changed for the worse. Obama started spending like our credit cards have no limit. His healthcare law made health insurance even more expensive. We've had stimulus and bailouts. Obama added almost $16,000 in debt for every American. How will my kids pay that off when they can't even find jobs? Now Obama wants more spending and taxes. That won't fix things. I had so many hopes. Cutting taxes and debt and creating jobs. That's the change we need. Tell President Obama to cut the job-killing debt and support the New Majority Agenda at newmajorityagenda.org.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of freedom.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live once again from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. Yes, indeed, the state with the motto that goes like this: live free or die. The state motto does not say big government or bust. It is Thursday, December the 20th in the year of our Lord, 2012, which means it is the eve of destruction, the eve before the fateful day of December 21st, the end of the Mayan long-form or long-term calendar, which isn't obviously their last calendar, but everybody's talking about it. And I saw a survey today. Do you believe that that the Mayan calendar really is the end of the world? And I try to view the world through the positive, as in the glass is half full, instead of viewing the world in a negative, as in the glass is half empty. But today I saw the results of this poll that they were doing on Yahoo. And I know I should probably say, well, it's a good thing that, here are the numbers. I should look at this positively and say that 93% of those polled and surveyed, who took the poll and survey and answered, do not believe that tomorrow is the end. But unfortunately, the big glaring thing that came at me was, and this is why, as a population, as mankind is probably in such deep doo-doo, is because when you flip it, you actually cannot ignore the fact that there is a full 7% of the people who were polled that really believe tomorrow's the end. 7%. Well, no wonder those Michigan schools closed early. Because there's 7% of our population running around out there that think tomorrow is the end. Who knows what they're liable to do? I try to be positive, but for crying, that was just, you could say it was, well, if it's 1%, I mean, sure, you still have to worry about that 1%, but if 99% of the people think that the world is not going to end tomorrow, I would see the 99%. But unfortunately, yes, I did see the 93%, but that 7% overwhelms the 93%. Because I could see 1%. Maybe even 2%, because there's always nut jobs. There are people out there that believe the world's going to end tomorrow. Every month they think is going to be the end. This is eve of destruction. But you got to understand that from a Christian point of view. And yes, I'm going to talk about Christianity because I am a Christian, and two, this is the time of year that we're celebrating a Christian holiday. That's why we call it Christmas. Coming from that point of view, a Christian point of view, Christ says, no man knows the day of destruction. No man knows the end, except no one knows when the end will be except for the Father above. That means the Mayans, too. They don't know either, or they didn't know. And you would think that if the Mayans knew that if they were so good at predicting the end of mankind, how could they not see the demise of their own civilization or the coming of the Spanish conquistadors and prevented it? Maybe they just felt, maybe they did see it and said, oh, well, it's fate. Nothing we can do about fate, right? Nothing. So, but we will be here tomorrow broadcasting live. So if it is the end, we're going to, what was the, isn't that what the guy did on is it 2012? Yeah, the movie 2012. He was in his Winnebago broadcasting the end of the world. And the world's largest volcano was growing before his eyes, and then blew up while he was trying to broadcast the end of the world. I don't know who's going to be listening, but I'll be here. If the same thing is happening, I will be here, broadcasting the end of the world. So if somebody were to pick up, if there's another alien race out there, someday they'll be able to pick up the radio signals all the way out there in deep